Krazy, aka Why Must I Sign In, and here we are looking at a 6 vs 6 in-house match on Star Battle X on the StarCraft 2 arcade. I am Krazy, aka Why Must I Sign In, and this is a version of Star Battle originally created by Zedu, by Greater Ninja, Schloss, Big Banana, and Windu. So on the red team, we're going to have OGKush going Leviathan, Dirty going 5 Missile Frigate, Ghost going Imp Raven, brucecambell going Range Missile BC, Guardian going 4 Needles, and Singularity going Feedback. On the blue team, we have Kurtis going Energy Nova, CRAKSHOTT with a very nice looking frigate there, going Range Missile, JIMBOX going a second frigate with 5 missiles, Thomas going Range Missile, iluvpie going Imp, and Boomer going 3 armor, 4 gas. So very, very different compositions here, particularly with the Void Ray on the blue team. And so one thing I was talking with Big Banana before the game started was that in his opinion, Void Ray is not really viable in IH right now. There's a few minor things with it, but the bigger thing is that these buffs to Raven and to Raven Imp has made it a lot harder to get to the point where your in-gamey Void Ray is going to be able to pay off. Which means there's a much longer kind of period of risk where your team might just get totally shut down. But, you know, if the blue team manages to hold the mid and the side, then maybe it'll work out. They have, in addition to the Void Ray, a very missile-heavy mid. They have 3 missile boats, 2 frigates, and a BC in the mid. And so since they have 2 supports, both of which went energy demise, this means that for this early game, the mid is going to favor the blue team for just right now. Now OGKush is still going to be working the side lane, and he's going to try to get fed. And in the meantime, Ram is going to try to hold this other side lane versus this Dreadnought. Now, Guard versus Dreadnought is not really a very appealing side lane, especially not when you go 4 needles. So rammstein's going to have a hard time right here, especially with things so spread out and no capacity to get cover from his team in the mid. Especially since, you know, neither one of his supports can do anything for him as a Guardian. So every time Boomer backs off and then comes in with his gas, Ram is going to be, you know, 1,500 life lower, which means, you know, he needs to be, okay, I can't just get run down here. But Boomer is not necessarily thinking he's going to get a kill on rammstein. He just wants lane control, wants to have a farming advantage. But blue team only has a 100 farm advantage right now. And so with no Guardian and a Leviathan, the blue team is not necessarily very late gaming. They are more early mid-game control. And so you gotta make sure, okay, sure you don't want to overextend as a blue team, but you also do need to be maintaining that farm lead, otherwise you're gonna have a really hard time because you want to get a kill basically. In my opinion, with this composition, you want to get a kill before 17 minutes, otherwise you're gonna have a really hard time. And so they're gonna, kind of an interesting back here. They have 3 of their team backing, and then 3 kind of backing slower with iluvpie kind of reading a little bit in the middle. But he's not at a huge risk right now, although both these, the frigate and the CC2 both have missiles in range. They, you know, iluvpie is staying far enough to the side that it's not a huge risk for him right now. Just checking something right now to make sure that the audio is working, and it looks like it is. Hopefully everything is streaming correctly. so blue team now is down on farm, but they are going to be coming out with their siege creep with the Tempests right now. And so these Tempests have 15 range and do 240 damage at 3.3 speed, a little bit under 100 damage a second. And then they are going to get even more farm as they come out, and will probably push the red team all the way back to their base and get some farm there. But they're not going to get a kill right now. And so this means that, okay, they don't need a kill right now. On this out, they don't have to get a kill. They just want to get, they want to solidify their farm lead. So that when they come back again in about 4 to 5 minutes, they're then, at that point, I think, going to be looking for a kill. Now, Boomer does have the potential for a lot of aggression here, right? With these level 8 gats, that's 80 damage at 0.27 speed. That's a fair amount of damage per second. You know, you look at that versus Kurtis's 5 beam at 75 damage at 0.43. Whoa! Whoa, what just happened? Dirty just got killed, and I mean, I didn't even see that coming at all. Oh man, I'm killing as a caster. I didn't see it coming. I'm very sure the red team did not see that coming either. They were not expecting a kill right there. Wow, that's a big concern for the red team. They just lost their frigate. Now, as I've been saying in previous casts, you know, if you're going to lose a ship in the early game, the frigate is the ship to lose. First of all, it's the ship that probably will die because it has such a low health pool. But beyond that, losing the frigate doesn't necessarily change your late game in the way that losing pretty much any other ship in this composition would. What it does cost you is a lot of farm control. And so blue team did exactly what they wanted to do. They got their early kill. I was a little bit surprised they got it right then. I didn't think they were going to get a frigate, but I guess Dirty must have just been a little bit out of position, and I'm guessing an ion came in and picked him off. Very big play for the blue team there. But this game is not over. Red team is only down 200 farm along with their ships, and they still have 2 support, a Guardian, a Levy, and a BC. They still have a lot of potential here to make big plays. And until Kurtis completely develops, things will not be certain for them. But that is going to give a lot of breathing room for Kurtis. That's going to give a lot of potential for aggression in the mid lane. And that's going to let Thomas go very hard into energy deny without worrying that he's sacrificing too much damage per second. So that's definitely a good position. That puts the blue team in a very good position right now. Boomer is staying on Gats. He's not getting bots, not worried about Overlord plays or anything like that. He's just focusing on Gats with 90 damage at 0.25 speed. That is 360 damage a second. Pretty good damage. And so yeah, it's Boomer with the rockets and the ion. That means red team needs to be very careful with how they do things here. Kurtis does have 450 energy with Nova, and so he is also trying to deny the red team as much as possible, trying to keep their farm lead advantage as high as possible. And so even though red team does have a lot of deny with imp and feedback, it does mean that their support would need to leave the mid, which means that actually Kurtis does not get denied nearly as much as I think they would like him to be denied. Now OGKush does have 9 range on his Firestorm and level 7, so that with Corruption, he can get some hurt in on this Void Ray, make him a little bit less greedy than he wants to be with that one ship advantage. But the blue team still is sitting on a very comfortable 400 farm lead, which at 13 minutes is pretty significant. That is a definite advantage for the blue team. And right now the Guardian has decided to go a little bit more into control, getting Parasite. You missed me. I did miss you, Parasite. Danny does have Chrono Boost, which is not going to be as big without the Frigate there to drop a Ion on the blue team. And so with these compositions, it's kind of tricky, because both teams do have, at this point, late game potential. You know, Kurtis will never have to worry about mines, whereas the red team will probably need to eventually get an observer to deal with the potential there. I'm not sure that blue team... I would not really expect the blue team to get mines in this situation, but it is something they might think of, because... Ooh. There are a lot of aggression here in OGKush. Void Ray taking the team in. Oh, they got distracted by the hallucination. The Phantom managed to pull off their aggression, which actually might have saved OGKush with a lot of damage right there. If that Void had stayed on longer, that might have been very messy for him. And Kurtis just linked a Imp right there. Very, very good play from him. Which lets him get some more beam on rammstein, but rammstein does land his Parasite. So Kurtis now is not going to be able to get a lot out of his Cloak. In fact, Cloak will do nothing for him at all. Yeah, he dodged the Imp, but then didn't have his link up to the Parasite, so that's always the problem with having so much deny on this red team. And so, in the sense that the red team might have overcommitted on deny early on with infant feedback, maybe that is, you know, the sort of metagame appeal of the Void Ray, is that you do force the enemy team to get a lot of deny, which can give your missile boats a little bit more breathing room. Maybe. Ooh. Oh, Thomas is getting shielded here. So I don't think this is going to be a kill, and here comes Boomer is going to get his gas on Bruce, and now Singularity is a little bit out of position, but I don't think Blue Team is committing to a kill right now. Level 10 shields on CRAKSHOTT, giving him, you know, a little bit more breathing room. Level 7 Broods are not going to put much risk of his power going down anytime soon. Which means that the blue team doesn't need to come out particularly fast. I think this is the first pass where I've actually had the music on. I turned it on for another game I was playing just before this, and I'm kind of enjoying leaving it on now. Very nostalgic for me. Ooh, Bruce is taking a lot of damage. He's getting it shielded, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, and the support has to split. Bruce goes down, and this is a very rough spot for the red team now. I'm not sure they're going to be able to come out of this. They have lost a lot of their damage and a lot of their control. I mean, they still have the 2 support, they still have the in-game theory, but as we just saw, you know, as soon as the ship gets a little bit out of position with the Void Ray focus damage and the missiles, there is a lot of potential to just come in and pick someone off. So I feel like this is probably over at this point. It's not to the point where I would necessarily be expecting the red team to GG, but the red team's expectations of victory have now gone probably very low. Blue team is probably feeling pretty comfortable that they have this game in the bag. And let's see. Oh, has Parasite even worn off on Kurtis? Yeah, I think Parasite has worn off on Kurtis. Kurtis has been having a pretty good day today. He's had a few big games as Overlord before this, and I think this is going to be his 3rd win in a row just today. Some pretty good games from CRAKSHOTT today as well. With his special frigate. I think this is his first game today with the special frigate out. Man, this just takes me right back to Brood War. I'm so nostalgic right now. I'm just listening to the music. 105 damage at 0.22 speed with this charge, giving him the capacity for lots of burst damage. I mean, yes, Boomer still does that 360 damage a second, but at this point, oh, Kurtis is using a lot of energy on Novas. A little bit surprised he's not using it so that he might dive in on one of these Zerg ships. Ooh, Singularity is split off. I mean, this would be the time right here. All he has to deal with are the M's. And so... yeah, man. And the Phantom's gonna go down. 8 shields on Thomas. You know, he didn't quite get that pinned shield. He does have 8 lasers as well, which is a bit curious. At 23 minutes, rather, that's a little bit curious. It's not curious if we were at, you know, 35 minutes. Ooh, fusion. Oh, that's gonna miss. Oh, it hit a Phantom. Well, that cleaned up some broodlings, but it's not gonna do much beyond that. And now there's enough force fields that, with all these missiles, really the towers are gonna go down either to Boomer in C, which she doesn't want to do because of the Guardian, which means that the thing is that with this composition lineup, the blue team is going to have sort of a hard time sealing the deal here. So this could turn into a slow win for them. They are still most definitely winning, but they have to win by letting the red team come out rather than destroying them in their face. Ooh, Kurtis getting some beam in on Ghost, but he's going to back off. Because I think he was running out of energy. And the Broodlords at 13 are just about high enough that they're really going to start to get through the protective field of Boomer. Now that gives him 70 total armor. And the Broodlings only do 30 damage when they're on him, but the land does 72 damage, so actually it's only 2 damage per hit, but you know, any damage at all on a Dreadnought is enough to kill the bots and to keep the shields down and to put him at risk of a corruption attack, blackout, death. I'm guessing Ghost. Actually, I mean, they're all mech. I'm really surprised, actually, that Ghost has not invested in Blackout yet. I know that he's been very caught up getting point defense down and staying on Imp and Matrix. But against a 100% mechanical team, Blackout is really big. I mean, Blackout really is almost, you know, one of their only remaining win conditions at this point, so... A little bit surprised he hasn't put a little bit more into that. Kurtis trying to be sneaky coming out here. Getting his green beam on some of these boards. Oh, he's going Purify as well. He wants to purify one of the supports down so that they can't keep imping him. And so he goes just actually matrixing that guard, just hoping that they'll actually commit to taking him out rather than coming down on them quite so hard. Doing a little bit of beam, and he's gonna miss the nuke. Getting some beam on the Arb. I don't think it's gonna be enough though. And so what we're looking at here is the potential of a slow win. And so usually when this happens, I stop casting as actively and jump into one of the channels while I switch to the player. So I'm gonna jump into OGKush's perspective. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into their team speech as soon as he stops doing what he's doing right now. Okay.
Channel switched.
On that Raven. Up. On the frigate. On the Raven. Whoa, that G-Mac! Yeah, that prig ate some brood lords.
I got the lag spike.
Yeah, me too. Spectator.
This is the most fucked up fucking lag. Yeah, it's gonna be my first time I'm gonna boot the fucking Spectator. When you get the parasite, it looks so cool. You can see so much. You actually get nice vision from.
Yeah, you do.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Okay, I'm gonna lose. Oh, never mind.
Channel switched.
I'm actually gonna jump to the other channel now because they're pretty quiet.
Channel switched.
Try to focus the guard. We need to kill him. There he is. He's boosted. That's the real one. I'm blacked out, but keep chasing. Our
Nice job.
That was better than expected. Good job, guys.
Channel switched.
Alright, so that ended a little bit faster than I was anticipating, but all in all, a good game there.
Channel switched.